take a look, but do we have any new people on the call? Brand new, first time on the call. Anyone, anyone? I don't think I see anyone brand new. Okay, great. Is my screen share on or did it go away?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, all right. Great. Okay, well, welcome to the Gains Agency Call, final week of June, which is crazy as we were just talking about. So, yeah, our final week here of June, the fourth week. Man, it has been a crazy quick time. So, we've got our call here right now. Daniel is running a short and sweet, sounds like, FIF and reset call today. Daniel, thank you for heading that up. National call will be Wednesday. Sales deep dive call is happening this Thursday. And then the Shank team call. Also, Friday will be the last day to submit business for June. And then the last day to get business issued will be Monday the 30th. So might be a good idea just to have Friday in your mind. But that last day to get things issued, that counts for your promotions and your contract raises and level of leadership. So make sure you are getting all of your client applications kind of buttoned up. So here's a list of some of the in-person events. Maybe, why does this keep happening? Can you guys see my screen? No? What is happening? What? Do you guys see the in-person event list? No?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay, well, there's a bunch of in-person events happening. Several of them are in Tennessee coming up here over the next couple of weeks. So make sure that you check out the news and events tab on the Symmetry website. I apologize that my screenshot is not here. It was there, but it's not anymore. And then here's the quick slide to remind you that Daniel is running the FIF reset training call today. Daniel, anything that you would like to say about this?
Yeah, I just posted this up in the
Oh,
chat,
great.
but we're talking about DFL and IBC. I've had a ton of questions about those and just want to give some kind of higher level knowledge of those things. So please come show up for those.
Great. Thanks, Daniel, for doing that. Hopefully, your counterpart Amy will be back with us really soon. I know she's been recovering just from some things that she had going on health-wise, but we understand she's getting a lot better. So hopefully, we'll have her back with you really soon too. One thing I want to mention to you guys, Holly Hensley and Sarah Neal run a training call 3 times a week. And this is something that all of us are invited to, but especially if you're a new agent, Holly and Sarah are wonderful producers. They're both like former educators. And so if you're just looking for a little extra time to either practice scripts, just wanting some input, your phone script, appointment scripts, please join these ladies. They have just offered and opened this up to our team and the Greater Shank Agency. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10:30 in the morning. We don't post the link in Slack. So if you want to just write down this Zoom call and the dates that this is happening, or the days, I guess, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10:30. Join these ladies. They are happy to help, offering their time, and I think it would be great for anyone who's just wanting a little extra, just a little extra guidance. It does kind of coordinate or is at the same time, I guess, of some other calls that are going on. So just kind of prioritize what each of you need at this time. All right, here's our conference reminder. If you have not yet registered for conference, please get your ticket. We want to see you in Denver. It's the second week of August. It will be here before we know it. Use the discount codes that are here. If you're in my base shop, use Gains 1565. If you're in Kyle and Kristin Gains base shop, 1575. Hit the done button on this. Also, I've had some people asking about potential roommate opportunities. So if you are looking for a roommate, I know of one female who is looking for a female roommate. So if you're a female, you're looking for someone to room with, share the cost, definitely reach out. put it in the Gaines Agency chat, like let people know that you're looking for a roommate. It does help. I remember my first several conferences, I shared a room with 3 other girls. So it was 4 of us trying to get ready every morning. So do what you got to do to make it happen. All right, we hit a couple of these slides last week, but we didn't have the graphics ready, so we hit a couple of announcements. So here's the graphics officially. So welcome to the team, Al Hernandez. He is direct to Tim Romero. I believe he has just started pre-licensing, so welcome to you. And then congratulations, officially, here's your slide, Joshua Frampton, direct to Jeff Lipson. I know we recognized just by announcing last week that you had passed your exam, but it's always fun to have the official slide. So great job to you, and excited to have you get going with us.
Also, real quick, shout out to both Josh and Jake, who are both on the call for now being both ready to write.
Woohoo! Awesome, awesome. Great, great. Thanks for sharing that, Jeff. All right, you guys, let's give a big shout out to Mr. Tim Coates and the Coates team hitting the new team leader, most recent team leader in the Gaines Agency. Tim, you are just someone who is so dedicated and committed to yourself, your family, your clients, the people that you bring on your team. Like, I don't know, we all serve our clients well, but man, Tim, I love just seeing, watching, hearing about the impact that you make with your clients. I also really believe that you do that with your team members as well. So Tim, congratulations. I know you have been working really hard towards this, and I believe Key Leader is going to come much faster than your team leader promotion came, but we are going to celebrate this one right now. So well done to you and Team Coates. I just want to keep looking at that slide. But anyway, oh, and also it'll officially be announced on Wednesday at the corporate level. So no social media shout outs until then. So just have to follow the rules.
Thank you all.
You bet, Tim. All right. And then we've got a couple of weekend warriors. Congratulations, Tim, to you for serving one client with one application this weekend. I believe it was yesterday for 1,075. And then Miss Laura Cawthorn, she just randomly puts up some applications. It's like just not ever surprised when Laura puts up some applications. So great job to you, Laura. 4 apps for 918 this weekend. And she also had a heck of a week. So we are going to celebrate that here in a moment. All right, last week, just in our entire master agency, we had 7 writers, just under 35,000. So year to date, we are at 696,000, 25 writers, 11 being new. In the Jennifer Gaines Base Shop, we have 13 writers, 7 new, 334,000. And Kyle and Kristin Gaines Base Shop, 12 writers, 4 new, 300 and basically 62,000. So still pretty much neck and neck, but you guys are ahead by just a bit. So well done, team. Super fun. And then here are the groups that have had a new writer year to date. Right now, guys, we've got a lot of people who are just kind of passing that exam and ready to write, like Jeff was mentioning. So let's get you guys on the board. So if you're new and you haven't written your first application yet, let's get you on the board. So you can do that a couple of different ways. You can write an application on yourself or a family member. Gives you practice of submitting an application. You see the process before you're actually sitting down with a client who's probably going to be a little bit more impatient than your family or friends will be. But anyway, application on yourself or a family member. Maybe you should practice your presentation to a friend or family member, and they may say, hey, can I get some life insurance or some mortgage protection? Also, you might have a stack of leads and you're still working to write your first client application, but let's really work towards getting you on the board, because once you write one, that belief just begins to grow. Your confidence will begin to grow. So let's get you on the board. and we can keep building these numbers up. The Great Eight, just a quick reminder that if you are wondering what may need to be adjusted in your business, consider taking a look and reminding yourself of the 4 cornerstones and the 4 keys to a successful week. Everything basically runs well or not based on how good you and I are working the Great Eight. So make sure you really dig in and take a look at these things and yeah, see where you might need to make some changes. Okay, 3 people last week hit 5K by Friday. So great job to the 3 of you. Laura with a whole bunch of applications. I didn't get the count, but 8,882. Jason, congrats, 7,801. And Kristin, 6,576. So way to go to the 3 of you. Lots of confetti celebrating 3 of you with 5K weeks. In the Jennifer Gaines Space Shop last week, we had 3 riders, 15 applications, 15,546. Jason taking the #1 spot, and then myself with 4,167, and Tim Coates, 3,578. And in the Kyle and Kristin Gaines Space Shop, a total of 3 riders, 13 apps, 19,286. Laura with the top spot. And then Kristin, 6 applications, 6,576. Daniel, 2,297. And Kyle, 0 apps, but 1,531 in APV. How does that happen? I did not make a mistake this week. It actually is 0 apps, but why? Because of a reset. So there's a split APV like split commission there. And so that's why that shows up. So anyway, keep resetting, you guys. Show up with Daniel today so he can kind of teach you and remind you and get everybody going. More resets is just more income in our pockets and more clients served. So let's keep working towards that. The power of resets, absolutely. So here's where we're at month to date. Just a little over 75,000 with 11 riders and 71 applications. Kristin, #1 spot, 14,130 month to date. Myself, 12,409. Laura, 9,801. Daniel, 90,85. Jason, 8,905. And Gabrielle coming in at #6, 7,645. Tim, 8,096. Anna, 1,574. Jacob, 1,535. Kyle, 1,531. And David, 669. Still plenty of time to get on the board this month, guys. So let's get your name on there. And then our 100 family serve slide. What a blessing to serve 557 families so far this year within our Master Gains agency. Really, really excited about this. So anyone who hits 100 families served, there will be a special thing that you will earn at the end of the year for everyone who's hit 100 families served. So Kristin, well on your way. Gabrielle, also Jeff, Daniel, everybody, just keep serving your families and keep bringing these numbers up. It just feels really good, even if it's #1, just a 1. So every family served on this, like every family represented is someone that did not have insurance before you connected with them. So this slide represents a lot of work and just a lot of really good feeling as well. And then here's our teams on the road to ownership. So for the month of June, we've got 6 teams. And then Tim, I didn't get a chance to change your color, but you're gonna be switching here to this lighter kind of bluish color because you are now team leader. But let's go ahead and see how all of the numbers break down. Team Cucciara, so far month to date, 2 riders, 16,730. Team Coates, newly earned team leader, 2 riders, 15,926. Team Romero, 2 riders, 2,204. Team Lipson, 2 riders, 2,204. Team Calabrew, 2 riders, 2,204. They're all in the same hierarchy, so that just works its way up. And then Team Van Ginkel, 1 rider, 1,574. So great job, everyone. Remember to hit AO You need 6 writers and 30,000 issue paid 3 months in a row. And then team leader is you plus 2 and issue paying 10,000 2 months in a row. So keep working towards that. And then chase the contract. If you want to find a running buddy, put what you're doing in the chat. What are you running for as far as a level of leadership, a commission increase? Put it in the chat. Find somebody who is running towards something like you are. Find someone that you can encourage to help get to the next level. When you celebrate others, it kind of takes the focus off of you, and that's a really big thing. So celebrate others, you guys, and keep running for your promotions. If anyone needs a connect call, make sure that you find our link and schedule a time to chat about any hurdle strategy questions that you might have, or just to get to know each other. All right, let's talk May issue paid numbers. The numbers are in officially. That happened last week. I know it always seems like it's a little bit of a delay, but it takes corporate quite a bit. It's kind of a process for all of this to get issued officially. So in order to qualify for this wheel spin, you need to have a minimum of 5 applications submitted for the month, and you need to have placed over 65%. Why do we have these metrics? Because this helps us submit solid, clean business. And when we follow this through to issue by checking pending and getting any outstanding documents or requirements like across the finish line, that's what helps us be profitable. So the qualifiers for May, spin the wheel, Tim Coates, Jennifer, Jason, Gabrielle, and Anna. So here's how it all worked out. I don't know, Gabrielle. There must be something going on with my Canva. I must need to like reset it or something. But Gabrielle, pretty sure you were there. So I literally don't know what is happening. All right. Anyway, Tim, you got 86% of your business issued in May. Great job. Jason, you issued 74%. Gabrielle, you did issue 147% of your business in May. How does that happen? Some carryover from an application or 2 or 3 written in a previous month, maybe April, that didn't issue until May. So that's why that number is high. Myself at 92, and Anna, yours was 88. I don't know where this 110 was. That might have been from last year. So anyway, we're just out here going. Okay, we're going to stop here for a quick minute because we do have to do the wheel spin. So hold on one moment. Let me reshare. I forgot to hit over to the wheel spin, so just a second. Because we've got $100 lead credit that we need to spin for. Okay, Rick, can you see my wheel spin? Okay, perfect. So Gabrielle, Anna, Jason, Tim, great job hitting those metrics for issue paid. So we're going to spin the wheel and see who earns the $100 lead credit today. No sound effects, but it's going to. Congratulations to you, Anna. We will get a $100 lead credit over to you. I need to make a note so I don't forget. That'll be coming over to you. So great job. Congratulations. All right, you guys. Let's go back to my slide here. All right. Today, we are going to spend a few minutes talking to Kristin Gaines and Jason Edminster, because the two of you have really made some just like impact. You've made some changes that have had an impact in your production specifically over the last few weeks. So I just wanted to take some time and acknowledge the two of you and hear kind of what you're doing and see what we might be able to learn from you guys. So as we get going, Jason and Kristin, thanks for joining me on the call today. It's nice to highlight agents when we can. And so I'm excited to chat with the two of you.
Yeah, this will be fun. Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So I want to take a quick moment and read. I'm going to actually share my screen because I kind of want you guys to see this really quick. I want you guys to see this little excerpt that I posted. Maybe take a screenshot of it. I'm just going to leave it here for just a minute. But this is, again, like this book, The 10X is Greater Than 2X, you guys, is so good. And so when I thought about talking with Jason and Kristin today, I thought this little excerpt that I had highlighted is just really, really fitting for kind of what we're going to be talking about. So it says, elevating and committing to specific standards is how you evolve your identity. Elevating your standards and 10Xing yourself involves a process outlined in Dan Sullivan's The 4Cs formula. So commitment, courage, capability, and confidence. Nothing happens until we commit. So as you commit to a specific standard far above your current capability and confidence, it pushes you outside of your knowledge and comfort zone. Hence, we have courage. Through courageously adapting toward your commitment, you experience many losses and failures along the way, which you can utilize as feedback and learning. By adapting and applying your learning, you develop capabilities and skills that you previously didn't have, which you would not have developed without having fully made the commitment. Commitment leads to mastery, wherein you've normalized the new standard. At this level, you have a higher degree of confidence. So I want to talk, Jason and Kristin, with the two of you about commitments that you have made, having the courage to make those commitments, developing, just being capable, and how that has affected your confidence. So that's kind of where we're going with all of this. So Jason and Kristin, would you mind, and whoever can go first, you guys can decide, but let's kind of share a little bit about maybe some of the changes that the two of you have made specifically just over maybe the last 3, 4, 6 weeks, because there's been some development in kind of your production. So yeah, share with us what have been some of the changes, the committed changes that each of you have made in recent weeks.
Sure, I'll go first.
Okay.
I would say, you know, I was kind of getting into this in the beginning with what I thought was my flag planted and like full-time effort. But I would say in the last few weeks, I've been, really getting after it and trying to put the time in and sit down and as David Kelleher says, like stick it out in the pocket. I have found that getting on the virtual office seems to get me to be more effective and kind of put the work in. And I feel like when you sit down for a couple hours, the first 30 minutes is for me kind of shaky. I feel like I'm not in my rhythm. And then once you hit your rhythm and you get in that flow state, and it's just like everything, you're just looking forward to the next dial. You're in your flow. It just makes a huge difference in kind of the results and how quickly and effectively you can get through the dials and everything. So that's been a big change. I'm on a tighter schedule. I'm going to bed at midnight because I'm calling Pacific time up to 11 some nights, and then I'm waking up at 8, and just being on that consistent schedule seems to really help.
That's so cool. So, and it has been just awesome seeing you in the virtual office more, Jason. I know you've been in the virtual office, but it's definitely your presence is you're there more often. You're communicating in the chat with people. You're asking questions. You're giving feedback. How do you feel like that kind of impacts you? Does it cause you to like keep going, like just being in the chat, being involved, like what has that done for you as well?
Yeah, it's funny. I tried, I had a couple weeks where I wasn't going into the virtual office, and I thought that might allow me to focus more.
Mm.
And I think just going in and knowing that other people are kind of working with you, and I've been able to ask Jordan, a bunch of questions, been able to ask anyone in there a bunch of questions, and it's just such a big resource. So I would recommend, like, if you're not going in there, you can even go in, have your video off. I think there's an extra element to having your video on because it makes you a little bit more accountable, but there are some times when, it's just like too much as a new person, and it's already uncomfortable dialing. I totally understand if you got to have your video off, but I think just being in there and
Mm.
seeing, Tim Coates working all hours of the day, it definitely motivates you to kind of step up your own game.
That's so cool. I love that. I love it. Um, Kristen, how about you? Like, what changes have you made in the last few weeks that have kind of impacted, some of the production that you've been putting up?
Yeah. So I feel like I have to even go backwards like 2 weeks before these last couple of weeks that have actually been kind of a breakthrough and fun because I was really frustrated with my production, 4 and 6 weeks ago.
Mhm.
And I was spending so much time watching like top producer calls across the company, like watching Dylan Crane, watching oh, who else? Shaquina and Stacey Love and in the LMS. Like I was trying to figure out what all these top producers were doing that I'm not.
Mm.
Because I'm like, what is going on? I know I can produce, but I'm just not right now. So I'm like, they must have something I don't. Like, this is literally what I was telling myself. And I was spending hours on watching calls. You can ask Kyle, he's coming up, and I've got like two calls going at the same time, like ridiculous. Taking down their script, thinking, oh, their script's better than mine, so I need to do that instead. And after watching all of these calls, I'm happy to report they're all using the same script that we are, everybody. So that was, so then I was like, okay, that's not it. So I figured out after way too much time spent doing that, that it's what they're doing off of that call recording that's making all the difference.
Mm. Tell
So
us more about that. Tell us, what do you mean by that?
they're showing up to those calls with confidence. They know they're going to make the sale. They
Mm.
know they're going to run the script, the same play every stinking time, and they
Mm.
know it's going to pay off. Like they're doing the exact thing I promise that we are all doing. It might just be that they're putting in a little more work on the confidence building side off of the call. So
Mhm.
that kind of led me to, okay, what do I need to change? I think that was like your original question for me. And that was, I need to start the morning way more positive than I have been.
Mm.
And so I've been starting my day with this podcast called Rewire Your Brain. And it's basically just feeding me, gratitude, big gratitude, small gratitude, affirmations, scripture. It's kind of a Christian podcast. Well, it is a Christian podcast I got from Holly Hensley's call a few weeks ago when Gabs interviewed those gals. And I've been doing that since, and that's been huge for me, just starting the day with gratitude and then getting back to the very basics of production, which I've been working with you a lot on, Mama Gaines, just trying to figure out like what I can change that's small. So for me, that's been Zoom calls and setting all appointments within 24 to 48 hours, preferably like same day, next day.
Mhm.
And then getting feedback on some of my call recordings I've sent you, and then you just helping me tweak some things that I've been doing for years now that I don't notice, but you did, hearing that, which has been really helpful for
Mm.
me, just
Mm.
personally.
Mm. Mm. Okay, I want to hear a couple of things.
Yeah,
Um, Tell me a little bit about Zoom. Going
yeah,
like the really cool thing is here, and almost like a dangerous thing here,
yeah.
guys. Like when I started, we had to be in the same room with these people at the kitchen table.
Yeah.
Like that was uncomfortable. Like for me, starting out as a brand new person, walking into someone's house you don't know, sitting down at the table and trying to figure out what you're going to say to these people that you don't know.
Mm,
I was so scared for a long, long time. No joke.
yeah.
Um, but then we were required to do everything on Zoom when COVID hit. You had to do your appointment on Zoom. Then we started getting digital leads. Digital leads is what made a lot of people think that they could just go ahead and do a phone appointment and, you know, knock it out of the park. Now, a lot of people do run phone appointments and they do very well, but I really do believe, this is my personal thought, that it takes some time to develop the skill to be able to have a successful phone appointment. And you have done that, Kristin. I know you have, but I want to go back to what made you decide and what has been the impact, the difference in having these Zoom appointments? Because you have made a concerted effort to like book Zoom.
Yeah.
So how has that impacted you? I know you wrote about it, I think, in a post the other day, but like share with us the Zoom appointment and how that changes things versus a phone appointment. This is
Yeah.
really important, you guys, especially if you're new.
I think this question, even I have to back up a few steps because the three things I have on my whiteboard for this month were morning routine, look good, feel good, show up well, and two boxes, everything else is costing me money. And that's a reference to the Marshall Whalen call.
Mhm.
And I had just gotten so comfortable being so mad about my results here. Like I was comfortable being in the cycle of like disappointed with my production. And I just was like, I needed to shake it up like so badly.
Mm,
And
wow.
so that's like coming on Zoom and being like looking good, top half, like homeless on the bottom. Like even that's a step in the right direction. But like I was just straight up not feeling my best. And Kyle was I was telling him that he didn't tell me this, just to be clear. But then he pulled up that video of that football dude that's like, you gotta look good, play good. I'm not
Okay.
telling you the right quote with that. The gamesmen can fill that gap in for you guys in the chat. But I was like, I need to feel my best so I can show up to this dial session and feel confident and feel like I know what I'm doing. And so for me, that's like the Zoom, I had gotten so lazy just being like, I can take this phone call. And to me, that's like a big disconnection for me and the client versus me having to like curl my hair and show up on Zoom and like look these people in the eye and remember that I'm covering their family with life insurance and mortgage protection, you
Mm,
know, and that is a lot more fun for me than a phone call.
mhm,
And I think
mm,
especially with all of this AI everything happening, like I've been using that on my Zoom call. I'm like, I just want you guys to know I'm a real person and that I care.
mm.
And they're like, yes, everything is AI anymore. You just don't know what's real. And I was like, I know. I'm a little old-fashioned. I'm going to send you my digital business card. And like, I want you to know I'm a real person.
Oh, that's good. I hadn't heard that one yet. That's awesome. That's really, really insightful for sure. That's great. So I feel like my part of my second question is wanting to talk about non-negotiables. I feel like you just gave us some of your non-negotiables before I throw it back over to Jason to hear some of his non-negotiables. Are there any others that you have? I mean, your morning routine, that type of thing. Anything else in there?
Mm,
Are those
this
kind
is
of the biggies?
those are big. Those are big.
Okay.
My other new non-negotiable is believe that I belong here.
Write that one down. Repeat that one more time. Where did you get that? You got that off of a call.
Yes, a call I was honored to be on. You know, they asked Kyle, Daniel, and I to speak at conference, and this is something they kept repeating, but it's not just that group of people that needs to hear this. So I'm going to say it to this team a lot moving forward, and it's believe you belong.
Alrighty. Thank you. Jason, how about some of your non-negotiables? Sounds like one of them is you're going to bed, or let's see, you're up a little bit later, but you're like you've switched your schedule to where I think you're doing some later dials, correct? In the evening on a different time zone, is that right?
Yeah, for Pacific time, it seems like the prime time for people is like 4 to 7. So that translates for me, my time, all the way out till like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're up a little bit later. And I know there's a lot of people that work different time zones, especially on the East Coast. Genevieve has done some of that. I don't know about David and Jeff, like with you guys being on the East Coast, but like a lot of people have done that. So you're getting plenty of rest, right? So okay,
Mhm.
you're waking up at 8, plenty of rest. What are some of your other non-negotiables?
I try not to eat anything after 9 o'clock. That seems to help. I'm really trying to set up, consistent dials. I mean, that's the biggest thing I fight with. So I was going for 60 dials or 3 appointments a day. And then talking to Holly Hensley, she does like 100 dials and 4 appointments a day. So I'm really been trying to get up there like 80 and 4, 104.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that's great. I know there's been others on the team as well. I know for a while, I don't know if you're still doing this. I think Jeff was doing something like, we either had to run so many appointments in a day or book so many in a day. Like setting those little like goals for yourself, even if it's like for a period of time, a season, maybe it's like, I'm going to do this for this month. I'm going to do it for these 2 months. Like setting some of those commitments like that, this is where it all starts, is the commitment. We either have a lack of commitment or, we are committed to doing what we say we're going to do. And that gives us some courage to meet these dials, to meet with our clients. And then through that, we're becoming, because you guys both are running more appointments. Kristin, I know you've been hitting 15 appointments a week the last few weeks. I know your goal is to get to 20, but that's building, you're becoming more capable. Like, and then being more capable makes you more confident. Like, so this all kind of works together. Jason, tell me really quick about something that you just posted this weekend about you booked 4 appointments. Was it in a day? Is that what you hit?
Yeah, four in
Okay.
a day.
I mean, how did that feel? You've been here how long now? 4 or 5 months?
It's been like 5 months on the
5 months.
phones.
Like
And
there's,
I'm
how did it feel to book 4 appointments? A milestone for you.
Yeah, it felt great. I mean, I'm seeing newer people do it. I'm seeing you and Kristen do 6 in a day. And one thing I would say is, listening to Summer Friesen, to listening to yourself, Jennifer, and listening to Kristen, I was able to, kind of tweak my intro a little bit. I think, when you call people, you've got to be confident. Like even nowadays, I'll still stumble in the intro, and people will get upset, and you can recover from it, but really getting those first couple sentences out smooth and confident is key. They say um, the first 5 seconds are huge. And then I would say just putting in like what county they're in, it just makes you sound more professional and more official. So just saying like, hey, Jennifer, I handle the mortgage protection for Hall County. That seems to really get them to let their guard down and think that you're just like an office worker calling them. And I noticed that with Summer, and I didn't implement it. It took me weeks, if not months, to implement it, but I think that plays a huge factor in the conversion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. And for both of you, like there's this for all of us really, but like just with the two of you, kind of what I'm hearing too, it's like you're spending time, like we can't train to death. We will never know everything there is to know about this business ever, ever, ever. But it is super helpful to watch and listen to enough training or information without maybe going too overboard. Like Kristen was saying, I had two going up. Like I'm trying to figure out what are these people doing that I'm not doing. We're all using the same script. We might say it slightly differently. Like it might be just ordered differently. My phone script is ordered a little bit differently than some, but like no major tweaks or overhauls. The system works. So spend time doing a healthy amount of training or listening to calls without looking for the overhaul or without going, well, what in the world is Dylan Crane doing that, what script is he using? What leads is he using? Guess what? Dylan Crane has done, I've been here 8 years. I bet he's done even more calls than I have. Like the guy, I don't know, he's some type of machine or something, but he's just done more than you have, period. And I don't mean that like rude, but like that's the reality. The people that are, generally speaking, the people who are doing better than us have just done more of it, or they have more leads than we do, right? I can't expect to write what Dylan Crane does if I'm getting 15 call-in leads and he's getting 30 mail-in A leads a week. Why would I think I could be Dylan Crane? I can't. Not with that. So, like, just take a step back and put that your reality into perspective. So, yeah, go. Did you have something to say, Kristin?
Yeah, I thought of a couple of things that I wanted to kind of add in right here. And it's I can easily get so consumed with the numbers. Like I track everything. You guys know I love my spreadsheets. And so I've actually had to eliminate tracking a few things to trick my brain. And I wanted to put this out there in case it's helpful for anybody. So, like you said, I'm only worried about getting 15 appointments. Like when you say that, that is literally all I'm worried about. I'm not tracking the amount of dials it takes anymore.
Mm.
The only thing I'm tracking is how many people did I talk to this week and how many appointments did I set. And I'm working until I get to 15 as hard as I can because it doesn't matter how many dials it took me. And it's not impressive that I did 200 dials if I literally didn't get any appointments. Like I was getting so wrapped up in how many dials I did. So now I can go lay outside in the sun, even though I didn't talk to anybody or book an appointment, and that's not going to make me any money this week.
Mm.
Like I had to trick my brain. So if that's helpful, like to stop counting your dials and just track what's going to make you money. And that's again the appointment number. I'm not tracking APV. I don't care about that because I know if I have 15 on, the numbers will work. I have not been focused on a 5K week the last 2 weeks. I've only been focused on book 15 appointments and get
Mm.
on Zoom with these people. I want to be
Mm.
clear about that.
And you've had a 5K week, so
Yeah,
like,
but you got to focus on the thing, not
no, that's
yeah.
absolutely. It's like when you focus on the things that are going to get you that result,
Yes.
it kind
Yes.
of it kind of comes. Same with Jason. I mean, you've had, I think, two 5K weeks, Jason, the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he has.
Maybe.
So, um, so some of those changes that you guys have made, talk to us just about like how have some of these changes and the processes that you're doing, like what impact has that had on your confidence?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, confidence definitely goes up. I mean, just getting somebody who's saying no up front and getting them to be open-minded on the back end is huge. I think it carries with momentum.
Mm.
It really just takes a little change to make a huge difference in
Mhm.
kind of your confidence. So if you're not getting the results that you're seeing right now, it could just be one little thing like I've been getting more people to show up just by texting them a question versus a statement. So I'll say like, does this time still work for you? And my sit rate's gone way up. And that's helped my confidence immensely because if people aren't showing up to your appointments,
Mm.
I mean, you're not going to be feeling too great. So just little things like that.
That's great. Yeah. Questions, something they have to respond to rather than just like s- talking at them type of thing.
Hmm.
That's great. That's great. How about you, Kristin?
Yeah. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I'd fully convinced myself that I forgot how to sell. So that's ridiculous. And you knocked that out of me for the 15th time. And so it's just crazy what your mind can convince yourself of, I guess is the point. And every single person on this call could go make a sale this afternoon if you believed that you were going to. So it's just like reminding that we have everything we need in in us, and if not in us, on this team, and I promise we can help pull it out of you
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
you do for me. And you listening to my call, affirming a lot of things, and then helping me think through how I could do a few things better gave me confidence because I was like, oh, that's all I need to do. I went and did it, and I wrote those next two appointments implementing what you gave me. So, like, that gave me confidence. And
Mhm.
something else that gave me confidence is I was on Zoom and we were wrapping up and leaving the call. I'd just written them, and they forgot to hang up right away. And so I overheard the wife go, "Ugh, I just really like her." And I was like, which is so crazy, but just like reminding yourself, like, "Ugh, you're good at this, you care about
Mm.
people." And that's all that it takes is like put the work in, care about your clients, and run the play. Like it's
Mm.
so easy to overcomplicate it. And I think Genevieve threw that in the chat, but I still do that. And I've been here almost 3 years. So it's normal if you're doing that and you've been here 6 months, but
Mm.
it's the same reminder that we all need. So don't believe what your brain is telling you. Reach out to someone who will remind you what is true.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and Kristen, do you feel like it was like the most comfortable thing you've ever done to send your recorded calls to me? Like, was that super comfortable for you?
No.
No, no, no. Like the really cool thing is, like Kristen said, if you send your call to your upline or someone a mentor that can give you some guidance or tips, like she was doing so many things really, really well. And just like a few key tweaks. And if someone else can hear that, um, it could make a big difference. So don't don't be scared to do that. Like if you want to get better, step out of the comfort zone and just do something like that. So,
Mhm.
um, and Jason, I know you messaged me and you're like, I found a training about overcoming objections that, you said made a big difference for you. So again, it's not about overhauling anything. It's just like finding these few little things, the changes that we can make and implement, see how things go. And if it doesn't move the needle, that doesn't mean you're not a good producer. It just means we haven't found the thing we need to tweak quite yet. I will tell you guys, share a little, not all the details of this story, but for me personally, there was a time early on when I started that it took me forever to even get to a point where I was writing some business. But I got to a point pretty early on where I was, writing 12,000 a month, 15,000 a month, within a short period of time. And that had been, it was pretty consistent. And all of a sudden, my production just tanked. Like I wrote like some changes. It was like going really, really well. October hit, toilet, just awful. November, awful. December, I wrote like $2,000. And I remember Jordan came to me and he said, Jennifer, like, what have you changed? And I quickly like in a little bit of a regret now, like I kind of like barked back at Jordan and said, I have not changed anything. I'm doing everything exactly like I've always done it. That's not how I would normally respond to Jordan, really, or anyone else, you guys. But there was a major thing going on in our family's life. And he said, Jen, like, what you guys are dealing with right now, like, just take a step back for a minute and realize that stress and what's going on is probably coming through in your appointments. And I was like, wow, I never realized that. But like what we were dealing with was probably coming through in like desperation in my appointments. Like I needed a sale. I needed to make money. I needed some things to happen and they weren't. And I didn't realize it, but Jordan did and caused me to take a step back and be like, yeah, he's right. So like there could be just things going on that you're not even aware are just playing a role in what's happening. So think about that too. And then what you can do to kind of work through that. And again, get to your moving your needle. One thing couple of things I wanted to like shout out to the both of you again is just how you've reached out for coaching, finding resources, doing an acceptable amount of training, taking ownership of your business and all of those things. I also see both of you showing up for others, celebrating others. Like I was saying earlier at the beginning of this call, like celebrate others, you guys. When you celebrate others, it takes the focus off of you. So do that for each other. Again, just to repeat the words, commitment, courage, capability, and confidence. So making the commitment early on, like 6 months of this year is over, you guys. There's part of me that still feels like we just were planning for what are our goals for 2025, and it's basically halfway over. So take a look at your business. First of all, I want each of us to celebrate the areas of growth that we have up to this point. Even if you're brand new, think about where you were a few months ago, that you've passed your exam or you've even enrolled in pre-licensing, like you're working towards passing those chapter exams. Like think about where you were and what you've done. People who have quit their jobs in the last 6 months and gone all in. Contract promotions, bringing on new team members, levels of leadership. There's a lot of things to celebrate. Find those things, celebrate them, acknowledge the wins that you have. The fact that you had no idea how to make a dial or a call potentially. And now you're getting better and better at your script, right? So those are the wins. Now take a look and go, all right, starting in July, where do you want to take this business for yourself and for your family? What are the things you want to accomplish before conference? What are the things you want to accomplish before Halloween or before the end of 2025? Because I promise you, 2026 will be here faster than you can imagine. And then remember, like a call that we had a little while ago, I still have these rubber bands sitting right here. How are we stretching ourselves? How are we growing? Like, you guys, the opportunity is right here in front of us. One of the things that Danny mentioned on his call last night is it's not about having a gift. Dylan Crane and some of these other like top producers that we all see and notice, it's not that they don't have gifts, but it's not about having a gift. It's really about having grit. So get gritty. Grit is just an amazing word. So get gritty, figure out what do you want to do these last 6 months of the year? Where do you want to be? Find a running buddy, get coaching, and just do the deal, you guys. So anyway, super excited to see where all of us will end the month and how we will start the second half to this year. So let's just run after it together. So anyway, you guys, have a great Monday, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the workroom. Bye, guys.
Hi, everyone.
See y'all.